today with us we have a very relevant guest, Mr. Raza Rumi, who has been an author, a journalist, a policy analyst, and has been writing on these issues for a long time. And currently, Mr. Rumi is a visiting faculty member at Cornell University and also teaching at Ithaca College. And he's author of multiple books. And it's important, we were really glad to have Mr. Rumi because, as you're aware, back in 2014, there was an unfortunate attack on Mr. Rumi's life in which he got severely injured and his driver lost his life. And that was particular because that attack happened on him because he promotes that pluralism which some narrow vested interests don't like in Pakistan. So that's why we are very happy to have Mr. Rumi with us here today. And if you don't mind, I would like to start with that tragic incident. How that incident has affected you or changed you as an intellectual or as a human being?
Well, thank you, Danish, and thanks to the NDF for having me here. It is a matter of both honor and pleasure because I know some of the people here, and to meet them again and interact with them would be a great opportunity. About the incident, I think I have written quite a bit about it, so it definitely changed my life. Because I went through that traumatic event, and I actually did not want to leave Pakistan, but I was told by the police again and again that for months you should stay inside and indoors and don't go out, etc., etc. And for me, that was kind of inconceivable, to be in your own country and kind of stay at home and have guards, private guards or police loitering about in your household. And I just could not fathom or reconcile with that. So my family, my siblings actually, they all live in the US. So for me, it was a time to sort of take a break and go away. But that, I think the act of leaving and the act of quitting a lot of things I was engaged here was a kind of a life-changing trajectory, also very traumatic, and also very sad because I was already abroad when I chose to return to Pakistan in 2008. I used to work for the Asian Development Bank for nearly a decade, and I resolved to quit all the bureaucratic jobs and lives that one has led. I used to be in the civil service as well, and I thought I'll have a kind of a more of a freewheeling and more autonomous control over my life. And I realized that that autonomy was an illusion because there are always some kinds of impediments. This time it was more of a violent type. But luckily, other than the first year of sort of being uprooted and rebuilding your life from scratch, it also allowed me to reflect a lot. So it definitely changed a lot of views I have about life, about myself, but also about Pakistan, because when you're away as a, I don't want to call her, because I never thought of myself as a refugee or asylee or whatever. I never claimed asylum. A lot of people are sort of mistaken about it. Then, I get this social media hatred that you left your country and took asylum or whatever. I did not. But it does, the distance allows you to mull over it. And I think a lot of good things about Pakistan which one misses and which one realizes from far, because once you're here, you're in the daily grind and in the negative news cycle and the negative ongoings, so you kind of skip the larger, broader structural transformations that are underway in Pakistan, especially over the last 1 to 2 decades. So I have been thinking a bit about that. In fact, I'm writing about that as well. One of my forthcoming books, hopefully, if and when it gets completed, would be about that, about how rapidly Pakistan has changed. And I came back last year after nearly 5 years and stayed here for many months and realized and went around the country and did notice that, it was not the same country that I'd left. In fact, many things had become better. So, you know, you started your opening lines with this effort to clamp down, or, you know, we hear about censorship and muscling, but I think it's just a temporary phase, because the very fact that it is being deliberately being done in a country of 220 million people is by itself a proof of the fact that this is a society in great both turmoil but also transition. And therefore some old structures, the ancient regime, as they call it in French, is trying to recreate Pakistan of the 60s or 80s, the orderly, structured, censored Pakistan, and it's not happening for a variety of reasons, and we can talk about that later.